All right.
We are
Welcome. We're getting this
here
recording thing.
step by step. It's been a long time since we tried to record and it didn't happen. And so we had to start over. So that's good.
That is good.
We're making
We're
progress.
getting into our flow.
Yeah.
Our flow of it. Yes.
All
So this
right.
is episode number 10. We're in double digits.
Double digits. We committed.
Woo-hoo.
We are
Yeah.
here. We are queer. Get used to it.
Yeah. Well, you are listening to or watching SheKings, and SheKings are for peasants who do not want to live shitty lives. So welcome. And
Welcome.
we're happy to announce that we are going to be doing a 3-part series.
Yes.
And it sparked last time in our recording of Letting It Go. So Erica, talk a little bit about why this came up and the reason why we're going to go this route for a few recordings.
For sure. So we got a question on our Facebook page from a beautiful woman, and we spoke about holding on and letting go of things, and she wrote in response to the post, "Sometimes you can't let go because it's there and it cannot go. For many reasons. Maybe it's your path to experience those moments of life. Then you have to manage to find a way to make it work. No, question mark. And so I read that as questioning whether or not it's possible to let things go. And so Allie and I discussed it, and we've decided to make it a 3-part series. And we're going to talk about letting go of things that you wanted in your life and they didn't show up. So that'll be part 1. Part 2 will be letting go of things that did show up that you did not want. And part 3 will be letting go of guilt. And so we're going to break those things down for you over the next 3 episodes. Well, next 2 episodes after this, with an eye towards really each and every time we look at it, whether or not it's possible to let things go or allow things to flow away. I really like that better than even the action of letting go. So what say you, Allie, about letting things go that you really wanted in your life and it just didn't show up, may never show up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because usually when the energy around focusing on something that you didn't get, that didn't show up, something that you wanted, is actually stronger to the lack of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you hold on to the energy of a lack of,
Mm-hmm.
then the universe will keep sending you more things to notice where you're lacking.
Yep.
So and I get it. We all have our heart set on something, some experience, some situation, some new job, some raise, whatever it is. And it's just been a complete shift for me to just enter the space of everything that happens is for my benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't see it in the moment, just understanding that the reason why you didn't get that raise is because you weren't supposed to, and it's for your benefit.
I think in speaking to what the questioner asked, we're not the post that we put up, and guys, it wasn't that deep, so I don't know if it's necessary to go into it, but the post that we put up was not suggesting that certain things shouldn't come to you, like there are certain things that we shouldn't be dealing with. We agree it is your path, so anything that steps in your path that you wanted and it didn't come to you, that is absolutely your path, and it is there to show you a place where this is your experience. And the question is, can you let go of not having the thing that you wanted? Can you let that go? Not pretend like this didn't happen or shouldn't have come to you. It's here, and we respect that. And I think it gets interesting when there's something that you can quote unquote do about it. So and when there's something that you can't, there's nothing for you to do about it. So I'm kind of stumbling on my words today, because what keeps coming to mind, Allie, even beyond not getting the raise, is those friends uh, in my life who are trying to conceive children,
Mm.
and it's
Mhm.
not coming, and it hasn't uh, been coming, and we're getting to our 40s, and they're starting to get scared, or maybe they've given up, but they haven't really fully truly um, allowed what the universe has given them to be. They're
Yeah,
still angry about it, or frustrated about it, or sad about it. Their heart drops when they think about it. So I want to make sure we're considering those things as well.
absolutely. And it is it can be, I shouldn't say it is. It can be a touchy subject when it comes to the things that society takes as this is so important,
Mm.
right? Whether it is family or health or whatever it is.
Yes.
When something doesn't come to you, and when we sit with it, when I sit with my clients and we break it down, there's always a contradictory. There's
Okay.
always a contradictory of I wanted a raise. Well, let's talk about your relationship with money. I'm fearful about money.
Yep.
I don't want the responsibility. But then it's so easy to focus on anger or disappointment on I didn't get a raise.
Hmm.
Like, but there's a contradictory. Um, and who knows what the contradictory can be for wanting a baby and not getting pregnant, or the contradictory of um,
Wanting a relationship and not
yes,
finding that special person,
yes.
or yeah.
There's always, and so the big what you did with me, um I think it was, yeah, it was almost 2 years ago. What you did with me when I was talking to you, you said, why did I want that?
Hmm.
Like, why did I want that to happen? That was so eye-opening to me, because when I sat with it, I was like, why did I want that to happen? It's I always go back to it's not what life looks like. We're so caught up in the physical, right? I want
Hmm.
this thing, I want this experience, I want this relationship. And that's great. Those are all physical. Those are
Hmm.
what makes us humans, to have these experiences. But the one thing that we have 100% control over is the feeling, right? I want to feel this way.
Hmm.
That's what everything is gauged off of, is our feelings. So okay, so let's just say the relationship one. Um, I have a feeling of low self worth. I'm not
Hmm.
worthy,
Hmm.
right? But I really, really, really want a relationship, because in my mind, a relationship is going to change my whole worthiness status.
Yes.
So the unworthiness comes out first, and then the situation has to match it. So then a relationship doesn't happen, or a relationship does happen, but then the behavior of your partner triggers I'm unworthy. Like it
Yeah.
always comes back to the feeling, the emotion of it. So
Absolutely.
for people who aren't getting what they want, getting what they believe they deserve,
Hmm.
I would sit with it, like really sit with it and say, okay, what is this matching in me?
Yep.
What is a belief? And it's not, so I want a baby. Babies aren't coming, right?
Yep.
So it's not going to match I don't want a baby. It could match disappointment.
Hmm.
It could match again unworthiness. It could match so many things that you're unaware of. It's just never that simple. I want a baby, I get a baby.
Yep.
I want a baby, I don't have a baby, so something's wrong.
And
It's sitting with
so it is. So it sounds like you're saying it's a matter of asking, why is this happening for me? And then
it.
what is this lack of, this absence of trying to show me about myself? And perhaps it's trying to show you that worthiness is always there. Perhaps it's trying to show you that, can you be, do, have, feel whatever it is that you are seeking,
Mhm.
um, without that one point that you have focused all of your attention on. When I really think about this, um, so that explains why it's there in your world, this thing that is not happening that you would like to happen.
Mm-hmm.
When I start to think about the letting go aspect of it, when someone tells me they can't let go of this thing that they don't have,
Right.
I always wonder, what is the benefit to you of holding on to it? Why are
Yeah.
you holding on to this? Because it's serving some part of you, right? It's feeding that thought that I'm not worthy. It's feeding that part that things don't work for me, that I am broken, that I am. Um, I think it really always comes back to worthiness, right?
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form. Um, and so when someone is refusing to let go, obviously at bottom, they have some attachment to that story.
Yeah. Yeah.
It gives them something to be the person who didn't get the thing. Um, because once that's moved through you, then you're able to see all of the possibility that is before you on any given thing that you wanted to have in your life. So, um, one thing I saw a lot of as a lawyer was people who wanted to be like full-fledged associates, but they found themselves as staff lawyers. And a lot of people were totally okay with it. They're like, it's perfectly fine. I make, quite a bit of money. I don't have that same amount of responsibility that these associates and so on have. But a lot of people just really spent their time struggling to make it to that next place, to that next level. And if they could have released identifying with not having what it is that they wanted, there were so many other possibilities for them in the legal world, so many other ways to show themselves and to enjoy their practice and to honestly climb the ranks and have the experience, the exact experience they were looking for. Maybe
Mhm.
not with that title, but with another title in another arena. But they were so micro focused on it must be this and it must come in this way that they were unable to expand into possibilities. So it just seems to me that, and maybe we should talk about how one lets go, but it seems to me that if you believe that there are just some things that are just there and you're just gonna um, have them for the rest of your life and have to deal with it for the rest of your life, if that is where you are and you've accepted that, then you relegate yourself to a very difficult way of being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that. And when you first started to speak, you said something and you said it quickly. And I don't know if anybody caught that. If everybody caught that, is when things are happening for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's never things are happening to you, they're happening for you. Yeah. That's the benefit. And it's not that people get caught up in the thing that didn't happen, the thing that they didn't get. It's always the story that you're attached to. It's never the thing. So, because simply if you're saying, for your example with the attorneys, I want to make lots of money, I want to feel powerful, I want to feel this. There's so many different avenues to hold that feeling. There's not just one avenue. um, and it's the same thing with law enforcement, right? So my husband was trying for sergeant, and it wasn't just the title sergeant. It was he wanted to reach out to more people. He wanted greater responsibilities, right? And so the sergeant never happened, and so we both quit. And so, but now he's like, he started his own company. He's traveling around the world teaching SWAT. I mean, so he got what he was looking for, but it was a totally different avenue. So if he was stuck on that one thing, no, it has to come this way. I have to be sergeant. Oh, he would be miserable,
Yeah.
absolutely miserable. But he let that go and then said, no, I'm not giving up on the feeling that I want to feel,
Mhm.
but I'm going to be open for the universe to send it to me in a different way. And it did
Absolutely.
times 1,000.
Absolutely.
So that is a wonderful way to let go of the story that is attached to your thoughts on this situation, and then hold on to the feeling of, nope, I still want to feel this way. And I promise you, the universe will send you something that aligns up with your path, with your greater good
Yep.
when it comes down to it. Yeah.
You know, I've been a little bit uncomfortable as we're talking about this because I am thinking about those friends of mine who really, really want something and it's not coming to them.
Yeah.
And what I realized is that this goes back to our last episode when we were talking about say what you need to say, tell the people what you want. And realizing that a lot of what's going on with all of us who want something that's not coming to us is that the universe is telling us no. That's it. Right? And it
Yeah.
doesn't mean stop trying. It doesn't mean, it just means that at this moment, the answer is no. And that's just a really, really fucking uncomfortable place to be.
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
agree.
You know, so when I'm working with a client and they have to have a hard conversation and they don't want to have it, typically it's because they feel like they're not going to get what they want. They are afraid to get a no to something they really, 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 really want a yes to.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. When you get that no, you are now free. You have so much freedom in front of you now to say, okay, this is the answer from my boss, from um, my body, from that person I was interested in. This is the answer. And I am still whole. I am still complete. And I still have the possibility of saying, what do I want now?
Yeah.
Where am I being moved to now? And so I guess the whole thing about letting go in the context of something not showing up for you, and I'm starting to feel a lot more comfortable now because I think this is like really getting to um, what I think is important for people to know. At the end of the day, there's no benefit to you to spend your day, your night, your tears beyond what comes out naturally, right? Not those that you keep creating because you keep thinking. To spend your time recounting that I wish it was a yes.
Yeah.
And if you find yourself in that place, you really have to, and I think the solution to it is, what am I getting out of this? What am I getting out of this? And what comes to mind is a woman, I think it's Carolyn Miss, who is, I don't know what she does, and I do know what she does. I just don't feel like talking about it. But she was sitting at a table with a group of people, and someone walked up to the table to speak to one of the people, and the person walked up and said to another person, "Hey, are you going to be able to make that Saturday lunch thing or dinner thing or whatever it was?" And the person says, "Oh, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it, or maybe I can just come a little bit later because I have this thing that I do with people who have survived. I don't know if it was some dis-ease in their body or if it was sexual assault. It was something. And, so I'll see, I can probably make it like 15 minutes late." And so when the guy walked away, I believe Carolyn Mist turned to that person or on a later date asked that person, like, what did you get out of giving that much information to a completely disinterested party? And
Right.
he was just getting to this idea of our attachment to the story, our
Yes.
attachment to like, this is my situation. So, um, and this is the type of thing, and I recognize it's going to really fucking offend people. It's really going to offend people. But even if we're offending you, like, take a minute. If you made it this far, if you haven't like shut us off and said, I'll never listen to these bitches again. If you made it this far, what in you is offended?
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
in you feels up? Because the person that Carolyn Miss spoke to, and I'll put a video in the notes, was like, who the fuck do you think you are? I am a survivor of XYZ thing. And so I said it because that is my story. And you have to ask yourself, what vibration is
Mm-hmm.
holding on to that story, bringing into your world?
Yeah.
Whether you
Yeah.
share the story or not, right? Whether you
Yeah.
pine away in silence or you speak it to anybody who will listen. What is it? How is it serving you?
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that because we search for things that support our story. And we think that we want them because then that will identify whatever it is. I'm
Mhm,
married, I'm a mom, I want a family.
mhm.
And we search for those things to support that. And then the higher self within us could be saying, like, your story, that isn't your story. That's not your
Absolutely.
story. You need to shift it. You need to do something different. But we want to hold on to the story, the identity. And so then we call in those things. And then when they're not happening, then it's anger, it's disappointment, it's defensiveness for
Mhm,
sure.
mhm.
All those things come up. When you were talking, I was thinking of just a parent overseeing a little one, right? So if a little one wants to jump off the curb, but you see like, oh my gosh, I see glass, I see this, and you say, no, like, no, I see what you don't see. So just trust me.
Yeah,
It's that same parent child relationship. It's when you get a no, like, trust it. Like,
yeah.
trust that, okay, this no is for my benefit. And we think that no is a horrible thing. Like when,
Can you pick up, you were like when you get a no, I think you were making
uh,
a point that the parent-child relationship is like similar to God, people,
yeah,
universe,
yeah.
people. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so when we get a no, like, no's aren't bad. We cringe from no's. We turn away from no's. When no's could be like guiding us in a certain way, like, no, you cannot jump off that because I see what it is.
Yeah.
And we always search for yeses. We maneuver our way around yeses to get what we think we need or think that we want. But man, seeing a no that way is, for me, it's freedom, right? Just like, I don't understand the no,
Yeah.
but I'm so happy that my higher self is watching out for me.
Yeah.
And they're basically like putting up these little roadblocks to be like, nope, you don't want to go that direction. You want to
Yeah.
go this direction. So let's throw a no here, a no here. Ooh, a yes here, because that's going to pull you this way. Like,
Yes.
we are all being directed if we would just let go of our stories of the reason why we want this stuff,
Yep.
why we want this, and just really cherish the no's that come to us because they really are for our benefit, just like the yeses are.
Absolutely. And I was just saying to someone, I love no's. No's are absolutely awesome. But this is something that if you want something and it's not coming to you, you have got to this is a mindset shift. It is a opportunity. And this is the letting go process, people. When you say, I am not going to argue with reality anymore. Um, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
What is next? Where am I being led? Where am I being guided? And if we all could get out of the sadness of the no and take a look back at our lives and see all of the beautiful no's that we got that sent us in another direction. And yes, it doesn't turn out like you planned.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a, I mean, I really, also just being at this age, when I think about children and marriages, man, if you've planned your life to be that way and you are getting no after no after no after no, I can only imagine. And Willem and I struggled getting pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know that it is just like, whoa, this is not how I saw it going.
Yeah.
But we all have those things where I remember working with a woman, a Somali woman who was seeking asylum in the US. And, a number of members of her family were killed, jailed. She herself was. And I remember sitting with her in one of our conference rooms, and we were trying to get her story down and get it down packed so we could resubmit it to the immigration courts. And I just remember her looking at me and saying, you know, when I was a little girl, I never imagined that my life would turn out like this. This wasn't my dream. And Allie, I had to get up, leave that room, and like cry outside of the door because I was like, wow,
Yeah.
this is, it's such a profound realization when you get to the point where you're like, this is not what I imagined. But it's even more beautiful when you step into what is and reimagine, reopen, revision what your life can be. And
Yeah.
you can't do that until you say, I release, I let go, I allow this sadness, this regret, this frustration, anger, disappointment to flow through me. And you don't reject it. We're not saying push it away. We're not asking you to do anything active.
Mm-hmm.
We're asking you to allow it to be there without feeding it, without being like, oh, it shouldn't have happened this way, but I'll figure out a way to get through. No, it is.
Yep. It is. And most people that you talk to, when you have them talk about their past, they're just like, no, I get why this happened or this happened and
Mm-hmm.
this happened.
Mm-hmm.
But it's finding that clarity in the moment that it's happening, not
Absolutely.
after it happens and
Or as
all
soon as
this.
possible, as close
Yeah,
as
as soon
possible
as
to when it
possible.
happens. Because it's not, this is not even
Yes.
asking you not to have an emotional response.
Yeah.
It's saying not to continue to suffer,
Yes. Yeah.
not to continue to um, fight and cry and push and pull. It is.
Yep. Yeah.
Where am I being led to? Where would I like to go?
Yeah.
Because there's still so much beauty left in this world. And this is my last reference. It's a quote from Anne Frank. And I'm going to slaughter it, so I will also include that in the notes. But it's something to the effect of, and this is when she was in an attic in Amsterdam, hiding out from the Nazis. She made a comment. She wrote something to the effect of, "Look at all of the beauty still left in the world, and be happy." And when I heard that, I was like, "Oh my God, I can cry right now." I was like, "Oh my gosh, wow, wow." Look at all of the beauty still left in this world and be happy. And that's what we have to do when the universe says no to us. And it will say no.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that. I love it.
All right.
All right. Well, that is the first segment on our Letting It Go series. We would love to hear from you guys. So we have our emails. You guys can reach out to us, Facebook, whatever it is. If you have any questions, comments, we would love some interaction.
Yeah.
Besides me and Erica.
Yeah. And I'm sure I would love to hear what people have to say about this one, because Allie and I think we were kind of working through it as we spoke. But this is what we do, guys. We're not, preparing a lot in advance. We're busy women, but we are speaking from our hearts. So get back to us. Let us know what you think. Let us know where we offended you. We don't.
We embrace it all.
Yeah, we do. Even the no's. I'll never listen to you again. All right, guys. For now, you have been listening to SheKings, for peasants who don't want to live shitty lives. And we will be with you again next week to talk about the next part in our Letting Go series, which will be when you get something that you don't want. So we've been talking about not getting what you do want. What happens when you get some shit that you're like, actually take that back?
Return to sender.
Exactly.
All right.
All right, beautiful people.
Thanks for tuning in.